What's up, everybody? I'm back. Your buddy Daniel, the conservative poppy, is back. I had to take a quick hiatus doing some weight loss surgery and getting healthy for me and my wife. I have been active on social media, but haven't recorded anything for you guys in a little bit. But it's okay. We're going to get these 15 minutes of a year in review. The Magaversary of Donald J. Trump. Oh yeah, it's a year in review. Oh Lord, it's a year in review, everybody. Okay, so a year ago today, November 8th, 2016, Donald Trump shocked the world. If there's any bigger punch heard around the world, is Donald Trump's metaphorical punch to the Clinton campaign machine. He did the unthinkable. He defied all odds. If you watch and keep up with mainstream media, you could have sworn he was going to lose, even with the email scandal and everything. That it was like, no way Donald Trump is going to beat Hillary Clinton. Your safe money is on Hillary Clinton. But guess what? Donald Trump punches above his weight class. He does things that nobody else thinks he could do, and he did. Now, we celebrated, we marched, we hashtag MAGA all over the place. There's a song by Joy Villa out there, which I love. But let's get down to the dirty details. There's been a lot of good, a lot of bad, and a lot of ugly in the first year of his administration. So, I'm going to start with the things that I like. And it's a pretty long list, but I'm going to give you the highlights. Number 1, Neil Gorsuch. Love it. If he sticks to that list of Supreme Court justices he released during the campaign, we will not have a problem there, and we will secure the future of the Constitution going forward. Constitutional conservatives and originalists only should be allowed in the Supreme Court because they look at every issue through the eyes and the goggles of the Constitution as it is written, not as it is taught. Number 2, economy. Oh, one more time. Economy. Everything is about the economy, guys. Clinton even said it. It's the economy, stupid. Donald Trump focusing on bringing back jobs, lowering the unemployment and just overall putting money back into the American people's pocket in the last year is his home run grand slam as an administration. I think that's where he's going and should focus on. And the tax plan, which I'm almost pretty sure will pass, some version of it will pass Congress and finally get to his desk. That's going to be the thing to secure him going forward and hopefully bring about overturning some of his losses and some of his ugly losses. That's number 2. And number 3 that I like is foreign policy and the strong stance across the world. Holy crap, I've said this in my videos, I've said this on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I love what he did in Warsaw. I love what he did in the UN. I like his G20 summit. I love it all because it finally puts us in a situation where we are the controlling our own destiny. We're not pandering to others. We're doing our own thing, and that is the way to go. That is the way to do things for America first. Doesn't mean we don't care about others. Doesn't mean we won't help anybody else, but it means we're going to put our interests above any other countries. That's it. That's all that matters. And that's what we should be worrying about at all times is does it make sense for the American people and for the American interests? Number 2. What else do I like? I like his take on... well, I don't know. I guess that's the 3 main things I like. Number 3 that I like is... That's it. No, I said the 3. That's what I have on my notes here. So let's go into some of the things I don't like. I don't like his messaging. I don't like he has no control over his messaging. I don't like that he hasn't had control over his messaging from day one. He hasn't used his messaging the way I wanted him to use it since day one. Everything from Steve Mnuchin and Sean Spicer, he hasn't used his messaging accurately, and that's the big thing I'm not liking. That's one thing that I wish he would really control. One thing I really wish he would take people to school, and he needs to be a successful president like the Obama, and President George Bush. It's all about messaging control. If you control what's coming out of your White House and coming out of Congress, you have a good idea on how the American people are going to react. But then again, what can I tell y'all? I mean, that's just my opinion, right? Number 2, he hasn't gained control of Congress, Republicans, and his own party. I think that's his major fail. You can say it's his fault or not, but the way I look at it, and it's something that I think a lot of people should look at it, he's the guy. He's the big honcho. He's the leader. He's the quarterback. He's the president of the United States. It falls on him. Everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly fall on President Trump now. Everything from the successes to the horrible failures. It all falls on him. It's not freaking Paul Ryan's fault. I mean, yeah, it is. People like me and whoever listens to this podcast, yeah, it's our deal. Yeah, I mean, we care. We know that he's a rhino. We know that he hasn't been a hardcore conservative since 1999. But let's be honest. When it comes to the general election, when it comes to the flyby guy who only cares about politics every 4 years, it's all going to fall on the shoulders of Trump. And this is something that the people need to understand, and that I want most of my audience to understand, is that it falls on Mr. Trump to rein in the Republicans and implement his agenda in spite of John McCain and Lindsey Graham and all these other rhino douchebags that are in Congress. It falls on him, and there can't be excuses. There can only be solutions. I mean, there's no time. We're getting control of what's going on, but there's no time to play around, and there's only time for solutions. And Donald Trump, you build $1 billion industry, not $1 billion, $1 billion company, and you did it without making excuses. Stop. Let's just get this shit done, and let's move the people forward. Ugly. Twitter. That's the ugly. That's the one ugly I think I hate. Or I love to hate. I think I love to hate his Twitter. Because if I want something juicy to retweet, guess who I go to first? Donald J. Trump. At Donald J. Trump. And see what kind of craziness he's tweeting about today. But hey, who what do I know? I don't know anything. I don't know what Donald Trump is trying to say or what he wants to do, but he's doing something. And I was talking to my buddy Ed from the Late Night with Ed show podcast. He's probably playing a rope-a-dope, and we did this long Instagram video that's up right now. Before it gets taken down, go check it out, guys, at Conservative Poppy on Twitter and Instagram. I'm sorry. Go check it out. And we're talking about that it's possibly a rope-a-dope. It's one way where he's distracting, the mainstream, getting them all up in their own heads and outraged, hashtag woke, on what's going on, and he's fixing the country in other ways. I agree with him on that, but I also say, is it necessary? There's a lot of people that'll say it's necessary. I don't necessarily think it's necessary. But that's just me. I look at it and I see a missed opportunity to go back to what I said earlier is miscommunication. But then again, it's a love-hate, so it's ugly, right? It's a love-hate. All love-hate is ugly. You love to hate them, but you hate to love them. And that's what it is. That's me with the Twitter account at Donald Trump. It's a love to hate to love. So it brings me down. I got about 3 minutes left here. It brings me down to this. What do I grade Donald Trump in the last 11 months of his presidency in his year one deal? I give him a solid C+ for all the reasons that I stated earlier. And this is just another great reason for us to continue to advocate our local, state, and federal governments and call our people to help back his agenda and keep Mr. Trump honest going forward, because a C isn't good enough, right? A C isn't going to get you reelected. A C it's for these young Democrats that are chomping at the bit to come, young progressives or young moderate Democrats that are chomping at the bit to not only criticize and exploit Donald Trump's faults, but to exploit the American people. We can't allow a C+. We need an A+ performance going forward. We need controlling of the messaging, controlling of, Obama turnovers. We need all those things to be done. And I think General Kelly is doing a better job than Reince Priebus and his liberal fucking ass. But let's be honest, it needs improvement. And I think the more Donald Trump relies on John Kelly and continues to do what he's doing and continues to make these diplomatic trips and just looking great, we can have that A+ president that we need, that we want, that we yearn for. But hey, what do I know? I'm just another millennial Hispanic trying to make a podcast. Then again, guys, thank you so much for listening. My name is Daniel. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you are interested in any, soon I will have my website back up and I will have all my social media in one place. That way you guys can keep up with everything. Thank you so much for listening. This is the Conservative Poppy Podcast, and I'm out.